Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and there was a lot of Witcher TV series news that came out in the last week that I wanted to put together in a single video for all of you guys, because a lot of it is little news, so I wanted to put it all together for you. Now, something that's been happening a lot with television shows in the last couple of years, I'd say ever since Game of Thrones made it a popular thing, is the astonishing budgets that are giving to these TV shows. They're trying to make a big tentpole events with film budgets, which is utterly insane because TV struggles to get that type of revenue that a box office can give a studio. But all these different studios are investing godless amounts of money, from the Halo TV series at Paramount giving $10 million per episode and barely getting a fraction of the return back because of how hated it was, to the Rings of Power investing in the end with multiple seasons, probably around $1 billion into something that is utterly rejected. The streaming idea of big budget productions is utterly insane and is utterly failing. And now we have confirmation, which we already knew, but we have firm confirmation that The Witcher is very, very much in this category with an astonishing budget. We have the budget here reported by Forbes, and it's everything that I would have expected, but it is interesting to see these numbers themselves. Netflix equips The Witcher with $319 million budget. Now, we'll go into these in just a moment here, but to clarify, this is just for seasons 1 and season 2 and Blood Origin. This doesn't include the 2 anime spin-offs or the Riff Raff spin-off that's coming up, or the seasons 4 and 5, which are being filmed relatively close to back-to-back upcoming. They were going to be back-to-back, but the writer strike kind of put a little bit delay on it, but I will get into more detail about season 4 in a moment here. But just going down to these astonishing numbers in a normal context. Nowadays, this is completely normal, but 5 years ago, to hear a budget like this for a TV show would have been unheard of. And the visual quality of The Witcher is fine. I do have to put that out there. The sets are beautiful. Sometimes the outdoor locations are beautiful, not as beautiful as they could be. They don't feel very distinct, especially Blood Origin. Blood Origin was not distinct or beautiful at all. But some of the stuff in seasons 1 and 2, I could see that there was some talent behind the set design and the location scouting, and I had to appreciate that. But beyond that, there's a whole lot of missing stuff where it questions, where did the money go? According to this report, a staggering $92 million was invested in season 1, and that equals $11.5 million per episode. Now, that's pretty par for the course. $10 million is a relatively average episode cost these days. Now, they're getting more and more, but for 2019, that is a little bit higher than normal for 2019, and it did get a return as it was one of the most watched things when it came out, surpassing even The Mandalorian, according to this article. It was astonishing. I personally don't like season 1 whatsoever, but I know a lot of people did, and I don't necessarily blame them for it, and that budget made sense. But what they did with season 2, and how they utterly debased the canon in a far, far worse way than they did with season 1, and how people started to reject it, the changes that they made in the budget don't work as well and didn't necessarily return as well for them as the season 1 budget did, because season 2 budget came up to $176 million. That's $22 million an episode. That is way more than I was expecting, even with what I was saying about the big tentpole, big budget TV shows coming up. That is way more than I thought. That is on a level with Rings of Power and House of the Dragon. I was not expecting that, especially because it was filmed quite a while ago. It came out several years ago at this point, and people rejected it so much. I cannot believe that they got a return on their investment. Not that they do anyway, because of the way that streaming subscribers works and there's no ad revenue. I struggle to believe that Netflix really gets any sort of profit from these insane productions anyway, but $22 million. Holy crap. What were they thinking? And then we have the total for seasons 1 and season 2 to $268 million. And then we get a little bit extra from Blood Origin, around $100 million, I'm guessing, to get to that 300 million mark. That is utterly insane. But like I mentioned, where is the money going, especially in Blood Origin and especially in season 2? Where was it going? Well, it was going to this costume designer who's returning for season 4, who decides, you know what, all the beautiful fantasy garbs that we see in the video games or here described in the books, nah, let's scale down to, I don't know, Kohl's and buy her a blouse and put it on Yennefer. The image here perfectly encapsulated. The woman who designed this, the costume designers who designed this, are getting a continuation on their contract for season 4. Where is the money going? Are they just paying these incompetent people? And that's why the budget is so astonishing, and that's why the TV show is so garbage, is because they're just mindlessly paying whoever's in the room with them, and the quality doesn't improve at a competent rate to the amount of money that they're putting in. It's astonishing. Now, the official news is that Witcher season 5 has now been confirmed. This has actually been confirmed for a while. That's why I'm surprised so many people suddenly picked up on it, from the mainstream access media sites and to other people within my own sphere. season 5 has been confirmed for a while. We've known that seasons 4 and 5 are going to be filming back to back for a very long time, and that only changed when the writer strike came about. Is there's a slight delay between filming of season 4 and 5, depending on how long the writer strike goes. That's the only thing that's changed. But season 5 has been around for a while. We knew it was happening. It was already confirmed. So I don't know why it's so strange to people, why it's suddenly come into the general zeitgeist, but it's been confirmed for several months now at this point. But the money for that, can't believe it's going to be anything less than season 2, and season 4 is probably on that track as well. So as much as this article says the budget for the Witcher universe is at $1/3 billion, that isn't accounting for riffraff, that isn't accounting for 2 anime movies, that isn't accounting for 2 seasons of The Witcher that are currently in production or pre-production in the case of season 5. We're at a point where we might legitimately looking at $1 billion for the Witcher franchise at this point where we stand right now, because the comparison between seasons 1, 2, and 3 and Blood Origin plus whatever else, I could totally believe we were getting at least to the $800 million range for the budget of the Netflix Witcher franchise. I have little doubt that there's no way that anyone can convince me that they're getting a return on their investment just because of the way the business at Netflix is set up. I cannot believe that they're getting their money back. Same thing with Amazon Prime, spending $1 billion on several seasons of The Rings of Power. How in the world are they going to get their money back? It seems impossible because of the way the streaming services work. This seems asinine to a certain extent. This seems like Netflix is genuinely touched in the head and has no idea how to businessly set up the Witcher universe, and has no idea how to write it, has no idea how to accurately adapt it, has no idea what the lore is, because they're making a spin-off show called Sirens of the Deep about mermaids, and they don't realize that sirens and mermaids are different. They don't understand the Witcher universe whatsoever. And so now they're just going to be paying bigger name actors in hopes that their names will carry a little extra rate to get a little bit extra viewer to help pay for this astonishing budget. Because we also have an announcement that Dolph Lundgren will be playing a Witcher in the spin-off Riff Raff about the rats. Dolph Lundgren is a name at this point, not an astonishing name, but he does have some pull. So his involvement in Riff Raff will pull a few people there. I don't have any interest in Riff Raff. I will, of course, be watching it because somebody's got to watch this garbage and let the audience know what is going on here. But this is insane. Netflix is insane to invest almost $1 billion by my estimate into this giant franchise that people are leaving in droves. As much as the actresses are saying, oh, we're going to be fine without Henry Cavill, there's going to be no issue without Henry Cavill, as much as Lauren Hissrich says the same thing, the general sentiment is there is no Witcher universe without Henry Cavill as Geralt. So how much will this crash and burn? How little of return on investment are they going to get in season 3, and even more so coming down the line with Riff Raff, seasons 4, 5, and the upcoming Sirens of the Deep anime? It's astonishing. It's going to be incredible to see how much money Netflix is going to lose at this point, because I feel like they might have gotten a little bit of return on investment on season 1, but that is the only one that I say was financially viable for them. After that, we could be looking at millions upon millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of loss for Netflix. That is insane. This is on Disney levels of financial failure. The Netflix universe is now officially, in my opinion, based on the math that I provided, I believe it is just as much of a financial failure as it is a creative failure, as it is as an adaptation failure. It is just utterly and completely broken on so many different levels that it's laughable at this point to see Netflix doggedly continue despite the insanity of the decisions that they are making. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Anon.